I'm Annie Duke. Now, for many players, the early stages of a tournament are a spot where they try and jump out in front and build up a quick chip lead. But what these players don't realize is that a tournament is more of a marathon than a sprint, and that the rewards for playing a lot of plots early are generally not worth the risk. In the earliest stages of a tournament, everyone in the event is deep stacked, meaning that they have at least 100 big blinds to play with. And in the increasingly popular deep stack tournaments, it's not uncommon to start the day with 300 big blinds or more. Now, with the blinds so low in relation to the chip stacks, this means there's a lot more gamble going on in the early levels because players just don't fear going broke with so many chips at their disposal. When blinds are only 25-50 and a player starts with, say, 5,000 in chips, calling a raise to 150 or 200 or even 250 just doesn't seem like a lot of risk to them. In practice, this means you'll be playing a lot more multi-way pots in the early going, and that bluffing shouldn't even cross your mind at this point because most of your opponents won't be interested in folding. Instead, the better play in early stages is to tighten up your game and look for premium hands or solid speculative hands that can, play in position against multiple opponents. Remember that play tight in loose games and loose in tight games is the correct strategy. Basically, in the beginning of the tournament, you're playing in a loose game, so you should be playing tighter. Now, another key point to remember is that there are no antes in the early stages, which means there's less money to be won in each pot. The less money you get out of each pot when you win, the more pots you need to win in order to be profitable. That means your hand has to win a higher percentage of the time, which translates to the fact that you just need to be holding a better hand to win the pot. To put it another way, tight is right in the early going. Another benefit of playing fewer hands in the early stages is that you'll be building a reputation as a tight player, which will help you when you start bluffing later on when it really matters, when you're trying to, accumulate those chips for the win or as you're trying to get a lot of chips on the money bubble. Now remember, of course, there's an exception to every rule. In this case, if you happen to find yourself at a very tight starting table, you should feel free to loosen up a little and play more hands against those opponents that are going to be easy to bluff because they're so tight. Obviously, from position.